this is Talamir and welcome to another repair video. In this video we are looking at this Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. Now with these ones, they're just, I'm going to be straight up with you guys, they're just barely worth repairing. The screens on them, even the ones that are refurbished and just the screen, no frame, are a lot of money. They're worth about almost half the value of the phone. The only reason I was willing to go for it was because I got the phone for almost nothing. So, there it is. Let's get into it. So this is the same old for these kinds of a back. They're a little bit easier to get into than like the S10 series of phones, but still, gotta add some heat. We'll get into her quick. Sometimes it can really help to use a thin piece of metal. Feels like this phone's been gotten into before. There's a lot of loose adhesive. I think this back is also made of plastic instead of its standard glass. I actually prefer that. If it's made out of plastic, it's a lot easier to work on, a lot less likely to break it. I think I worked on an S24 even that had a plastic back cover instead of made out of glass. Just that corner right there on the bottom. Drop a little alcohol. We're nearly in already. There we go. Yeah, this is not original adhesive. It's been snipped into place. You see how it's not coming in on those corners? They usually put them all the way around. The whole thing, corners and everything. I'm just replacing the screen. I'm not replacing the entire shell, but it does mean that we got to take out a lot of stuff to make sure that we don't break anything, which means we're taking out the motherboard, we're taking out the cameras, we're taking the battery out even. And the reason why you're going to do that is just it makes it so much easier to get in behind the screen, and you don't have to worry about breaking anything, damaging the cameras, damaging the motherboard, damaging the battery, especially damaging the battery. Otherwise, you're just going through it at a complete snail's pace. I believe also, though, in this occasion with the S20 FE, really, most of these types of phones, they rarely have screws that are of different sizes. I'm a little disappointed here. I just realized something. Whoever put those that new adhesive seal in there, they never removed the old adhesive from the phone. They didn't. It doesn't even look like they cleaned it or anything. Okay, there is, in fact, a couple of screws in here that are of a different make than the others. This one right here is definitely going to be smaller than the others. These are what are known as board level screws. They're always a slight bit smaller than the other ones, or at least they should be. Yes, they definitely are, about a millimeter shorter. If you mix these screws up, they're guaranteed to destroy your device. So we took it out of this hole right here, and this one has one right here as well. So yeah, let's get those out. Yeah, that one's definitely smaller than the other one. That one just barely. This one's noticeably smaller. I don't know why they used screws like that. Okay, we also need to take out the SIM tray. Ah, one of the cameras fell out that easily. I was not anticipating that. Is it weird for me to say that this phone smells slightly of cookies? Because it definitely has a very slight smell of... Oh my gosh, we've got us a micro SD card. I wonder what size it is. It looks like a knockoff. 32 gigabytes. That isn't anything particularly special. Unbranded, no name brand micro SD card. I'm not wanting to disconnect these. I could easily enough disconnect it. I'd prefer to just keep them together. Oh, they're on both sides. Fine. Now I just got to remember one thing. The one on the right, that's your white one, that goes over top of the red one. Can I get this lens out? It's really stuck in there. It's not like a gyroscopic lens. It's one of the smaller lenses. I'm definitely struggling to get it out. I don't know why it's so hard to get out. There we go, we got it. It's the last thing that was holding it in place, it's just that lens. Let's get that battery out. I'm just gonna, before I even drench it in alcohol. I want to see how loose the adhesive is. I'm trying to figure out what exactly was done on this phone that made it need to have more new adhesive put in place. It's possible maybe it was a new back cover. The previous one got broken somehow, because the battery feels fine. It's really hard to get out too, so I'm just gonna absolutely drench it on alcohol. Just lift up and go at it. Should come up relatively easily. Just let the alcohol drizzle on inside behind the adhesive. Very nice. That's definitely original. So you can see now why I wanted to go and do it this way. It's just because it's so easy to access the back of the screen now. Even right here, actually, getting that speaker grill out, you can see right here, there's a spot, a little circle where I can push on to get the screen out. As far as I know, they also only glue on the sides, so this may be relatively easy to work on. We'll see. Break out the heat gun and heat her up. I am definitely starting from the bottom of the phone. This is the bottom, as you can see, the lens there where the face cam is. I'm going to grab my safety glasses as well. I'm positive this might potentially have pieces of glass flying at my face. I don't want that. Just looking for it to be hot to the touch. Doesn't really matter at this point. The screen is completely dead. Not even salvaging it's going to be possible for this thing. Yeah, that should do it. So I'm going to go in. You can do this with a razor blade as well, but I'm really wanting to use a little metal thing here. Just get myself started. Drizzle the alcohol, and theory this should be enough to get it all going. Once you have it in, I'm going to take one of my plastic cards. Now, if there's anything that I'm using in this video, like products like this that are of use to get inside phones or tools or equipment, I do have Amazon affiliate links in the video description that you can use. I make a little tiny bit of a profit off of those, so they're there for you if you need them. So what I'm going to do is, once I get underneath, I'm going to try my best to like get in as close as possible, and I wanted to angle the card upwards, but that's not, oh, maybe it might work. Yeah, it's not working as well as I'd like. I'm going to push right there with a screwdriver or something. Screwdriver. That'll do. You just hold it down like that in the hole. A little bit of extra leverage. More alcohol. And away you go. If I can get in behind there, it just makes it a lot easier to get through the screen, the adhesive. As you can clearly see, just ripping through it. Nice. More alcohol. Just soaking it. I really don't care. The screen doesn't matter. It's busted. Truly busted. Now it's truly busted, but before it was already busted. There seems to be glue holding this screen down. This is getting a little annoying. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, I was really wrong. I'm used to like the Motorola screens. They've got them only glued around the edges. This thing, this has got glue all over the place. They got like a big thing of glue going right down the center. Whole screen's all glued down. It's very annoying. Look at that. Get the screen completely separated. Okay. There we go. This goes right in my recycling pile to go off to the electronics recycling depot. What do we have here? What do we have left? Looks like I should have taken this out. That right there is your fingerprint reader, and I forgot to remove it. That's no good. I could have ended up damaging it. That's what I'm trying to point out here. So we do have some glass shards that are still remaining, and the old adhesive. That can be sometimes a real pain to get out. It's going to just involve a lot of scrubbing and scraping and alcohol and soaking it. It's not going to be anything special, but yeah, I just use the back of a razor blade and I just put some alcohol in if it's necessary and just scrape. This one's coming out not too bad, but I'm going to grab my safety glasses again because I'm worried about shards flying all over the place. Nothing better than protecting your eyes so that you can keep working. Okay, so I have that all cleaned up about as good as I can. It's good and spick and span. And I also ended up removing the old seal. Just noticed there was a little bit of adhesive on the edges there. I've got the glue out as well for where the battery is. I'm going to have to put new adhesive in for the battery. The moment I got the battery out, it was a guarantee that that's what was going to need to be done. This is actually really easy to get off. The stuff in there was hard, but this is easy. It just rolls right off of the battery. It'll never be perfect. Like you're never going to get it all off. As you can see, it does leave some behind, but it's still pretty easy. And those little ripples in the battery, you can push them back down with. I usually use like my spudger here, plastic spudger, or a pick. You can just flatten them down with a pick. You just push them down. It's not really a big deal. Now at this point, what we're needing to do is test that screen. Here is the S20 FE screen right here. Please test the screen before removing adhesive or installing on phone. The reason they're putting that there is because it's impossible for them to determine if there was actually a defect after it has been installed. And because of that, the moment that it is installed, no returns after installation. That's very understandable. Now there is supposed to be a screw right there. I'm going to install that first, just to make sure that the board isn't flopping around. And I think I'm going to put the antennas back in as well. Part of the reason why I want to put this screw in right now is I'm positive that this is the correct screen. This is the correct screw, but you can see the spot where it would come through. I think it's right there. If it was going to poke into the screen, that would be the spot. And they were a jerk enough about it that they actually gave a spot where it just blows right through. So if I used a longer screw, it's possible that it would push into the back of the screen and damage some pixels. Now the screen that I got is a refurbished model, so you notice that there is some stickiness there. Some of it is because they've put a new adhesive on the back there, which is fine. I don't really care about that. Let's get this in and get it tested. You want to be careful with the bottom of this, because the bottom of this screen has some open cables. A reminder once again, the red one goes in first, goes underneath the white cable, antenna cable. It's really nice actually. I'm not sure if you can see it, but right here and here they've got a little R. And right down there, there's a W that indicates which one's supposed to be where. So that tells me that this cable needs to go up top into this little metal bracket that they've got going. Toss the battery in. Don't plug it in yet. Now we've got the cable right here. Now, if you've been enjoying my channel, you've been maybe even coming back to watch my stuff and watching more and more videos, I'd really appreciate it if you'd sub. I am trying really hard to get myself up to 1,000 subscribers. Get myself up to that monetization goal would be awesome, because at the moment, YouTube's showing advertisements on my channel regardless of whether or not I am at 1,000 subscribers, which is really annoying. So that means you guys are getting advertisements whether you like it or not, which kind of ticks me off. All back together, we have this pointing towards main. Let's get it turned on and see how that screen looks. Beautiful. Now, the customer that I bought this from said that there is very likely an account still on it, and simply that's because they weren't able to get the account off since the screen was so badly damaged. Yeah, it definitely has an account on it. Definitely has an account. It's locked. You can see there's a pin thing there, so I'll see what I can do. What I'm happy about, though, is that it's working. So for my basic test that I do, I go into the emergency call section and I just make sure that the digitizer is working, at least in this function, to this degree. And it looks like it is. Just like that. Okay, I am pretty darn sure at this point I can start getting everything together, but before I start gluing things in, because I'm still not confident, what I really need to do is get that account off there. So that's what I'm going to do next. Well, I finally managed to get it unlocked, so that's all good, done and dusted. It's just a matter of getting this phone all glued together. It's somewhat glued together at the moment, but I didn't truly glue anything down, so at the moment it's just held down by remnants. I'm sorry guys, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. I've already installed the screen. It was pretty straightforward though. All I did was put some very thin 1mm adhesive all the way around the edges. And then after that, I put a little bit of E8000 glue just in the corners, and there's also a little strip right across here where I just dabbed very lightly along this line here where the earpiece is. And it takes about 10 minutes to set, and then about 24 hours to fully cure. So before that, I wouldn't recommend using the phone or selling the phone until that is dry. You can't have people putting their phone into their pockets and the lint getting caught into that glue after all. So then I just pushed it in place as best I could. As you can see, it's still very good, very clear. The screen looks nice. I do have some glue smudges on the screen as well. And I'm just tossing in all the little bits here to finish this job off. But the very last step that I got to do here is just put some adhesive all the way around the edges. And there's a very interesting method that I saw on how to do this to make it a very solid fit. And that is like the usual, to use this 3M adhesive. It's really thick stuff. I think thick, and I mean, I should say wide. I think it's probably about 5mm, maybe 6. But what I saw them do is, the guy that I watched do this put the adhesive on in place, right to the edge, with excess on the edge, and then he made sure that was all firmly pressed. What he did at the end, after he had it perfectly aligned and cut, is he took his tweezers and he simply ran his tweezers along the edge there. Well, it wasn't just I think he didn't use tweezers at first. Actually, I don't think he used tweezers. I think he went right for the blade. But I don't want to go for the blade right away because I'm not confident. Nevertheless, he scored the line right along the edge of where the frame and that bit there met. Just like that. And then once that was all like that, you go in with the blade and you can cut out that excess adhesive and you've got just a perfectly cut seal. It really makes it a lot less fiddly doing it this way. So I'm remembering this for the future, for all times the future, because this works well. And see how easy that is? Look at that. But yeah, look how clean that is. It's just so perfectly clean. Well, I got it all in place. It all looks pretty good. And there we go. Now with this, I still need to put some dabs of E8000 glue in the corners just to waterproof this up. I'm pretty much done. Just a tiny dab here. I still need to put the screws in, but I do like to let this glue dry a little first. Just a tiny amount. Makes it more tacky and less runny. Just make sure when you're dabbing in that glue there in the corners, when you get close to the cameras in the upper section there, always when you're dabbing, flick away from the camera. Same here, pull it up, flick away from the camera. You want to protect those lenses. You don't want to get little strands of glue on them. I don't think I've ever had that happen to me, but I don't want there to be a first either. So let's get those screws in. There's one screw that's bigger than all the others. Or there's a bunch of screws that are bigger than all the others. What's up with that? I can't remember. It's been a little while since I was working on this phone last. I'm going to take a guess that these screws are for the bottom. Yeah, I think I'm bang on. These are for the bottom. And there we have it. The screws are all in place. This has been well cleaned up. I always like to start off from the top and work my way down. So put it in the top like there. Make sure it's nice and tightly affixed. So it's properly lined up. And then you can move your way down to the bottom. Now, if you've taken off this back cover and for the life of you, you can't get it to properly stick down all the way, like there's just one section that just keeps popping back up and like significantly, it is very likely that the battery has an issue. You're probably going to need to replace that battery because it's the battery that causes that to happen. All right, just got to test it. Yeah, I got my beard trimmed. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but it is what it is. I fully tested it. It is fully tested, and it's looking pretty good. I just got to give it a bit of a wipe down, give it a clean up, get all those fingerprints off the screen, and it'll be ready for sale. So, if you guys like the video, please do leave a like, and if you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe. We'll see you guys all in another video. Bye.